It's Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, Baha Hashem, Yahweh Shai, forever and ever. So let it be true. So let it be true. Love, honor, and respect to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and to His Holy Son, Yahweh Shai, who died for the 12 tribes of Israel. Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. Matthew chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. And double honors to the apostles of GMS, to the 4 major prophets, to the 12 minor prophets, to the hopeful elect, the brothers, the Akim, the saints, the 144,000 who are preaching the word of God on the 4 corners of this earth, risking their lives day in and day out. And peace and blessings, shalom to my brothers, sisters, and children who are watching this video. We're on another lesson. And let me go right into the holy book of Jeremiah. We'll start with let's see, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45, where the Lord says, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord God Yahweh, that He has taken against Babylon." He's talking about America. "And His purpose that He has proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out." Who's that? Who's the least of the flock? The Zionists, Israel, the Khazars. Read Revelations 2 and 9, Revelations 3 and 9. They're the least. It says, "Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out to World War III. Surely He will make their dwelling place desolate with them." Yes, because both of them are going to get hit with nuclear missiles, Israel and the United States. Okay, they're both going to get hit, and it's going to be desolate. It's going to turn into a hot springs. Okay. "Surely He will make their dwelling place desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth trembles, and the cry is heard among the nations." And that noise is going to be all them ICBM missiles. Satan 1, Satan 2, that's the missiles that are in Russia. I mean, they have thousands of ICBMs, but their biggest nuclear missiles, they call them one, is called Satan 1, and the new, more advanced is called Satan 2, because they call America the Great Satan, the Middle East and Russia. Okay, so I'm going to tie this in with the news, what's been going on. There's so much things going on, but I want you brothers and sisters to keep keep you informed of what's happening, because there's so many things happening, and it's just getting it's escalating, and everything that's coming out of the United States news, CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox, it's all propaganda. It's all pro-Israel. It's all controlled by the Zionists. Okay, so when I do my research, it's a little chilly right now. The temperature is really dropping. When I do my research, I'm looking up what's going on in the Eastern Roman Empire, Constantinople, Turkey, Middle East, Russia, Europe, out in Spain, France, Italy, Germany. I'm looking up what everybody's saying on the other part of the world. China, India. I get a lot of stuff comes on my feed out of India. But the Washington Post says the Iran war, it's costing the United States $2 billion a day. Okay, This is going to affect everybody here in the States, okay? And we're not even, all this money and these missiles that they're shooting, like I said, they've been shooting $1 million missiles, $2-3 million missiles at $300, $500, $800 drones. Now some Iranian drones, they have $10,000, $50,000 drones and $100,000 drones. But a lot of them that they've been using has been under $1,000. And not only that, these Iranians are very smart. You could put them up there as they're a genius. Okay, because they've been preparing for this war for 50 years. Okay, you see some of these news channels have been saying 10, 20 years. No, about 50 years. They have underground bunkers that go miles, maybe 100 miles of hundreds of thousands of short-range missiles. Okay, they're prepared. They were waiting for the whore. All right, they were waiting for the prostitute to make her move with that bastard child, Israel. All right, the children of bastards are those Zionists, those Amalekites. They were waiting for them. Okay, because Iran is winning this war, not the United States. Now they're such a, they're so advanced. These Iranians that out there in the desert, they painted planes on the ground. Okay. They put concrete. They painted these planes that looked from far in the sky. They looked like they had, dozens and dozens of military planes out there and tanks and all this. And we're shooting all these multi-million-dollar missiles, blowing them up. They're just blowing up dirt and concrete. All right. I mean, and their missiles, instead of having them on top of the ground with missile launchers, they're under the ground. Okay, they can't find them. They're just shooting them out of that desert. Okay. Over here in the States, they're bragging. All right, you have your president. He's filled with pride, arrogance. Your senators, your Congress, your generals. Okay, they're filled with all this pride. They're saying all this damage and destruction that they're putting on Iran. But they're getting drones from Ukraine. They're scrambling. All right, they're saying that they've destroyed everything over there, and it's all lies. Okay, we're going to get into it before it gets dark. So it's costing $2 billion a day. It says the Washington Post here in the States. According to that report, Israel is starting to talk about an exit from the Iran war. Behind the scenes, Israeli officials are reportedly starting to discuss possible exit ramps. Not only Israel, but the United States. Okay? They messed up. Right? They thought they were going to go in there day one. They killed the Ayatollah, the Pope of the Muslim world. All right? They did that. They thought, and then your president was stirring up trouble to the people there to overthrow the government, which that's an evil act. Okay? But the opposite happened. People came together because you just crossed the borders and attacked a nation that was minding their own business in the Middle East. All right? They only go after the countries that support them Zionists, them Amalekites. That's why they're throwing short-range missiles, hypersonic missiles, at all these Arabic countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, um, all them nations that are hand-to-hand in collusion with Israel and the United States. Okay, but Israel, United States crossed borders and attacked, and now they're looking for an exit because they're getting hit. Israel is getting hit every single day with missiles. They're destroying Tel Aviv. Okay, they're hitting every city and town inside Israel. All right, that they're what is it? I'll get to it here. The dome. Their little let me see, what do they call that thing? It's my train of thought right now. What is it? Oh, we'll look it up. But they destroyed it. We're gonna get into it. They can't stop. They can't stop Iran's missiles. Okay? And they're looking for an exit to get out of this. All right? They started a war. They thought they were gonna surrender, but they were prepared for this fight, and they're not going nowhere. They're in big trouble right now. All right, like I said, they're hitting inside of Israel. They're hitting every U.S. base, and now just recently they were saying that there were 6 or 7 U.S. soldiers killed and I think 12 wounded. Now reports are coming out saying over 150 wounded. The reports I'm getting, there's over 1,000 U.S. soldiers dead and a couple thousand wounded. All right. They did this during World War II because they don't want to look weak. The reports are going to come out probably in weeks that all these men were killed, men and women were killed. Okay. Israel, they don't want no one knowing what happened. The prime minister's brother, I found that out about 3 days ago. I believe 2 or 3 days ago. The brother was hit. Iran has been, their missiles have been hitting their targets, and hit one of the brother's house and blew it up. Matter of fact, they even touched the prime minister's house and blew it up. No one has seen him in a couple days. I'm going to do some more research tonight to find out if he's if anybody, if he's anywhere. But the last 48 hours has been, they don't know, they're just keeping it quiet. Okay, it just came out that the brother was killed. Because one thing about those Amalekites in Israel, they don't want nobody to know that they're getting their ass kicked. All right, they want to look like they're filled with pride, just like the United States. They're not bringing out the truth. Okay, so they're looking for this exit because they're in big trouble. All right, the whole world's in big trouble, especially with the economy. It's gonna get bad here. But they're looking for this exit, and it ain't gonna happen. It says, as the war with Iran escalates, there are growing worries about regional escalation and damage to the global economy right now. There's no clear end game, but the final decision largely depends on Trump. That's what they think. All right. He came out the other day. The stocks were in the red. He comes out and says the war is about. We're going to slow it down. It's going to stop. And then the stock market went up in the green. This guy has no say in the matter. They started a war. Iran's going to be the one that makes the decision when it's going to stop. Okay, they got it twisted. Everything's twisted here in America. All right. Iran is winning the war against the giant, okay, against this superpower that didn't plan this out. All right, they thought they were just gonna go in there like a bunch of cowboys, bomb the place up, and they were gonna surrender. Now we're going on what, day 12, day 13, because they're like a day ahead of us over there. It says the global economy. Right now, there's no clear end game, but the final decision largely depends on Trump. One Israeli official put it bluntly, quote, "I'm not sure it's our interest to fight until the regime is toppled." So, too bad. Too bad. You shouldn't have started this war. We're talking about America and Israel. All right, they're trying to find this exit plan to get out of this, because they're going to be they're being humiliated right now. All right. Iran's been hitting every target. Their drones have been destroying our U.S. bases in the Middle East. Says we shouldn't have started this war, carried out the surprise attack against Iran. This is a war of choice. They made that choice to attack, all right, and try to remove the government so they could put their puppet government in there, so they could steal all the oil, steal all their gold, all their silver, all their artifacts. This is what we do. We're the bully. Right? We take everybody's lunch, just like a bully in the schoolyard. He's kicking everybody, pushing people down, taking their lunch. This is what we do. But what we're taking their assets, their oil, their gold. They steal everything. Okay? That's what we do. It says you didn't need to do this. You opted into this. Now Iran has said, we're not finished until we're done. So Israel doesn't get an offer. And the choice isn't with Donald Trump. All right? What arrogance this government has. Their pride and their arrogance. The choice is with Iran. This war finishes when Iran says it's done. And Iran won't say it's done until the United States is evicted from the Middle East and Israel is destroyed forever. Okay? They made their move. They attacked. They attack everybody in the Middle East. They steal oil. They steal everything. Okay? And that's why they're going to be humiliated. And the whole world is turning against the United States and Israel. They see with their own eyes, with the internet. That goes back to the holy book of Daniel chapter 12, where knowledge shall increase. That's with the internet. You have it on your phone now. You can watch all the news. You can go on to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and you can see videos. You can see them cities getting hit in Israel. You can see all the damage that's happening. All right, people are downloading these videos. All right, and you can see it with your own eyes. That's why knowledge shall increase. Okay. It says Iran won't say it's done until the United States is evicted from the Middle East and Israel is destroyed. Welcome to reality. Israel, you created this. Did you see the IRGC new targeting guidance? Now that they're eliminated the air defense capability. All right. And you saw that in the last 11 days and nights, Israel has no air defense capability, none whatsoever. Iran only fires missiles with one. They're shooting their missiles with a 1-ton warhead. All the newer missiles are, so the first, I would say, 7, 8 days, there were all the short-range missiles that they had were things that they had since the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. That's what they were shooting the first 7 days. Now they're starting to bring the big surprises, the big missiles with 1-ton missiles that are hitting, destroying huge buildings. All right, apartment buildings are going right to the ground. All right, this is causing damage. All right, it's looking like Palestine. What United States and Israel did last year to Gaza and just destroyed it. That's what's happening to them now. What comes around goes around. All right, so they're putting 1-ton warheads, meaning that the day that is coming, small warheads are over. It says Israel is now ready to they're about to get ready to find out the aspect of when you fool around with Iran, what's going to happen to them. That they're gonna totally destroy their cities. Okay, in Israel. Now, let me see. They want to play this game. It says the United Arab Emirates, all the Middle East countries will be taken off the map. Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, because they were all hand to hand with the United States and Israel. Okay, for the money, for the oil, they're making a lot of money, so they're in collusion. That's why Iran is hitting all these Middle Eastern countries, and they're hitting their oil fields. They're gonna. I mean, we're talking about billions and billions of dollars of damage that they're gonna be losing. All right, they're already losing. It says, let me see, Iran. I was playing around. Iran is not playing around. They have thousands and thousands of missiles, hundreds of thousands that they haven't used yet. New missiles, hypersonic missiles with huge warheads, and they're very accurate. And they're showing that. Like I said, on this side of the world, they're not showing you the truth. Okay? It says the Iranians have a plan that they have this great game plan that they're going to collapse the global economy, and it's going to happen. Right now with the stock markets, they're hoping that Trump, our U.S. military, our Air Force, is going to end this, but it's not going to end. All right, they didn't plan accordingly of what was going to happen. They didn't think Iran was going to stand up and fight like they're fighting. I mean, they were prepared to fight this monster. All right, this beast that likes to push people around, push nations around. It says the economy as we speak, oil's going through the roof. If this continues, there won't be oil to be produced in the Middle East. To the U.S. and Israel, the message is this: if Israel strikes energy production facilities inside Iran, inside Iran, you will pay the price. Your military will be destroyed and your economy will be destroyed. And there's nothing the U.S. and Israel could do to stop it. Your air defenses won't work either. U.S. and Israel, you're about to be ready to get hit with these 1-ton warheads. That's what they're threatening. Because we're the West, the United States, we're threatening that we're going to do more punishment on them, and they're threatening back. Make your move, and they're not going to sit at the table with the United States, because when they were sitting at the table for peace negotiations, that's when they attack. That's what they do. That's what Israel and the West and Europe, they attack when you're sitting down with an olive branch. This is how Esau and the Amalekites, that's how they do business. You can't trust them. Their word means nothing. And the whole world sees it. All right? The whole world. It says they can't stop it. You're ready. Get ready to see what Iran does. They're going to start shooting these 1-ton warheads, missiles, short range, hypersonics. The level of destruction will be catastrophic. They created this problem, and they've lost the war. All right. Like I said, it's going to escalate to a nuclear exchange. All right. This could drag on for months. It might slow down, or it's just going to continue to escalate. Only the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai knows. Okay? They don't get to dictate the outcome, and they will acknowledge their defeat and get on their knees to Iran and their demands to get out of the Middle East. There will be no more Israel. They won't get along. They don't get along with their neighbors. They don't get along with nobody. All right, Israel only has the United States and Europe, and even Europe is turning against them. Spain is one of them. Spain, most of the citizens of Spain are against Israel. They hate them. Okay, so you have Europeans in Europe that hate the Zionists. U.S. radars have been wiped out by Iranian precision strikes. Fourth largest oil refinery attacked, and mines laid in the Hormuz, the Straits of Hormuz. They're putting these mines in there, and we're not going to send our Navy in there. Our U.S. carriers they're pushed out hundreds of miles away. All right, and then you had the audacity of Donald Trump telling the men that are in those oil tankers out there to have some balls to continue to go through. All right, and they'll shoot them down. They'll hit them with missiles. But our Navy doesn't have the balls, because they know if they go in, they're going to get hit. They can see with their own eyes the technology, that the missiles that they have will sink every battleship to the bottom of the sea. This war, like I said, this is not World War II. All right, we used to be able to flex our Navy out there in the sea. Not no more with these hypersonic missiles. Okay? And they, like I said, they destroyed that dome, their defense system, destroyed it. And like I said, these Iranians are very smart. Okay? Because it detects all these type of metal missiles, and they did it a way where it can't detect it. They did something with like a wood frame around these. I'll do more research, and I'll bring that video out maybe in a couple of days. How they've how these missiles are going past that dome. Okay, and how they're hitting all their targets every night. And then you had this one dummy that was saying it slowed down their missiles, and that's what you have. Your government, your president, you have your these people, these spokesmen for the military that are saying that they've slowed down the missiles. Well, they don't need to shoot off 1,000 a night. All they have to do is shoot 40, 50, 60 a day, as long as it hits a target. And that's what they're doing. They're in it to win it. Okay? Just like when you fight somebody in a ring. A guy that goes out there and he just throws all his punches, what's gonna happen? He's gonna run out of steam. He's gonna be weak by the third round. The guy that's smart, he'll move around, you know what I mean, and dodge them punches and move out of the way. Do you see what I'm saying? He's a man that knows how to endure punishment, but he could, most of the punches, if you move out of the way, you know what I mean, he's wasting all his energy, and then you're gonna catch him slipping in the 6th, 7th round and knock him out in the 10th round. You see what I'm saying? That's what these Iranians, these ancient Persians, they're letting the United States throw all the bombs they want. They're running out. Okay? And they're not. All right? They attacked at their home base, and they're prepared. It's not like they're on this side of the world messing with us. No, they're at home. All right? They have home advantage. Okay? And they're winning the war. They knocked out all our radars, billions of dollars. They're knocking out these oil refineries. Iranian drones are shooting down interceptors, not the other way around. We're saying we're doing all this damage, but they're doing the damage to our U.S. military bases and Israel. Let's see what else there is. It says Donald Trump on Wednesday said that his military had decimated the Iranian Navy, and yet Iran struck 3 oil tankers today in the Strait of Hormuz when they tried to defy the blockade imposed by the Islamic Republic. The Wall Street Journal said that Iran was enjoying complete control of the Strait of Hormuz. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Iraq cut oil out by 6.7 million barrels per day. That's roughly 40% of their combined output. It says global oil production with the Strait of Hormuz effectively closed. The United States says it's open, but they have it closed. Like I said, everything from the West is lies. It says Russia giving Iran specific advice on drone tactics. Producers are struggling to ship oil to global markets. It says tanker traffic has collapsed. Exports are stalled, and storage facilities are quietly filling up when producers can't move all out. They can't move out this oil. It says only option is to slow down production at the source. And it's not just the Gulf countries. Japan has ordered all 10 national oil storage bases to prepare for an emergency releases for Japan. Vietnam urges people to work from home due to fuel shortages. Qatar has halted LNG production at the Ras Laffan. Saudi Arabia began oil output cuts, becoming the latest Gulf producer impacted by the U.S. and Israeli war on Iran that has halted ship traffic in the region. I think that's about it. There's so much stuff going on, but like I said, brothers and sisters, get prepared, because you're going to see like gas is going up. Okay, 10 cents, 15 cents a day. In every, like here in, I believe in Denver, I think it went up to 370, 375. Every day it's going 10, 15 cents up. And California is getting hit real hard. They're up $5, $6, $7 a gallon. And that's going to happen all over the United States. It's going to get worse. Okay, this war is not going to end. All right? And you're seeing the United States, they're in a bad spot. Israel got them in this big mess. But like I said, they're controlled by the Rothschild family. It was going to happen no matter what, because the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Oppenheimers, they want the whole Middle East and then take out Russia. They want the whole world, but it's going to go nuclear. So hope all you brothers and sisters were satisfied with this news and reports, and I'll keep you updated. Try to every other day bring out news. Like every day I'm researching, and I'm going to bring all this news to you. But be prepared, read your holy book, mind your business, and fight the good fight. And things are moving quickly. We're living in that time, and United States is going to pay the price. The citizens here in America are going to pay the biggest price. All right, this is not going to really affect the millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. This is going to hurt the hardworking Americans. All right, so when that gas goes up to $5, $6, $7, and if it continues to escalate in the Middle East, and they continue to hit all these Arabic countries and all their oil refineries, we're looking at some big trouble. You're gonna see oil, a barrel of oil go 200, could go 300. They're even saying now it could go up to 500 a barrel. That means you ain't gonna see nobody driving around, okay? Because a couple days I told you, if it hits 300 a barrel, you're talking about to fill up a gas tank will be over $3,000. That's at $300 a barrel. If it goes up to $500 a barrel, it's going to be game over once it starts hitting $6 or $7 a gallon. Once it starts hitting $20, $30 a gallon, it's going to be bad. And you can see, you hear the ambulance coming, you hear the sirens. That's the time that we're living in. Chaos, crisis. All right, days of chaos, days of sorrow. That's the time that we're living in. So hope all you brothers and sisters were satisfied, edified, with this. Most High willing, I'll be here tomorrow with some more scriptures. Thank you for watching Tawada. Most High willing, I'll be here.